I know I'll never be trading my love for her or anybody else's heart. One day I'll take a trip back to that Cherokee Strip, and I'll carry her away with me. Yeah, it still lingers yet, and I know I never will forget my little Cherokee maiden. I love her so, even though we're far apart. I know I'll never be trading my love for her or anybody else's heart.
If you have had an Infamous Brewing Company beer tonight, please raise your glass and open your vocal cords.
Everybody, we're thrilled to have everybody out here. It's truly heartwarming to see what an outpouring that we have, and just a tremendous following for a new brewery here in Austin. We are so thrilled that you all enjoy the beer as much as we do. That's why we made it.
It's amazing to look around here and see how many people have affected the growth and development and this effective launch of our brewery in different ways.
There's a lot of ways to go about opening a brewery. Ours is probably not the way that most people go about it.
I think it was 3 years ago, my wife and I decided to pick up everything that we had and move to Austin for beer.
Josh and I met at a bar, as most good ideas do start, in New York City. It was back in September of 2011. Josh and I were sitting next to each other, and the bartender came up and looked at us and said, "The two of you know each other." And we kind of looked at each other, decided no, we don't know each other, and carried on our other conversations. And the bartender came back and said, "Well, here's 2 shots of Jameson, why don't the two of you talk?"
From our initial meeting, we spoke about past, present, and future. And the future would be to open a brewery in Austin. When we finally did lay the groundwork for that, starting in June, really when we incorporated the company, we brought Matt in, who's a dear friend, certainly a professional, or a home brewer. Now he's a professional brewer. I was looking to go from my kitchen sink to a little bit bigger. I found a piece of equipment that was for sale built by this gentleman right here. And we became fast friends quickly. A lot of distress calls from me in the middle of the night saying, "I don't know what went wrong," and he's saying, no worries, you're gonna be okay," and walking me through it.
He took off running and he would call me, and I said, "Hey, call me anytime you have a problem, anything that you need to know, call me immediately." And so he'd be calling me and I'd be at work, and I'd pick up the phone and say, "Hey, you're fine, just take a few extra steps and do this and this, and you'll recover your batch." And he did good, and he was brewing really great beer. And I was really surprised, and I just knew that this guy had a talent for brewing beer.
3 or 4 months later, I came down to Austin, checked out Austin, and one of the things I always think now is if you can't be happy in Austin, I don't know where you can be happy. And so I immediately fell in love with the city, immediately fell in love with the idea of starting a craft brewery here.
So I came down to Austin, and I was literally sleeping on couches and floors of friends' houses, and I got a job, doing what I'd always done in access controls, which wasn't ever fun, but it paid the bills. So I kind of picked up there and was building custom homebrew equipment on the side. And that's how I met Josh. He was, I think, a homebrewer at the time, and looking to do something a little more. And I had some pieces of equipment that I had built, and he called me up one day and said that he wanted to come by and look at some stuff. And I can remember him coming by, and when as soon as he got out of the car, I shook his hand and we talked for a minute. I was like, "This is the guy. This is the guy." The light bulb went off and everything registered, and I just knew that this was the guy that was going to take the equipment that I had built and used and do something with it.
So when it became time to open an actual brewery, there was no better person fit for the job of leading the brew floor than Matt Bishi.
One of the first things we knew almost immediately was that we wanted Matt Bishi to be part of the project. And Matt has been a part of the project and a part of our plan from basically the get-go.
From day one.
And there was there were a lot of hard decisions and there were some easy decisions, and that was definitely one of the easier ones.
So when he approached me and said that, hey, we're looking at starting a brewery and we're interested in you because you're a great brewer and we feel like that you as a welder can help us out a lot and we can really go far. And I said, I would be interested, I would love this, and this is exactly why I moved to Austin. And he said, there's just a few things, we're not looking at buying a turnkey system. We want you to build the system, and we want it to be a homebrew system based off of what we know. And I said, I'm up for the challenge. This sounds really interesting. I'm down.
I think it took us a couple of months to kind of get our feet underneath us and get exactly the plan that we wanted to put together.
We built a lot of the brewery by hand. Matt welded piece by piece, built by hand our brew house in a system that we knew how to work, something that we were comfortable in working with. And so far the product has been absolutely fantastic. So we, through a lot of trial and tribulation, certainly learned a lot about the brewing industry from the inner workings of it, on how to get a brew house built and how to do it in a way that was almost like a gigantic homebrew rig.
And I think it was 2 months later I quit my job, headed out there and did it full time and just welded and put stuff together piece by piece. And we weren't sure about a lot of the things. We thought this should work based on what we know, but we didn't know that it would work until we actually tested it out. And as we started testing stuff out, everything was working. There were a few things that we had to kind of dial in, but for the most part, everything just really took off.
So here we are with beer that's absolutely fantastic. We certainly love it. The community outpouring has certainly been a lot in our favor, with them liking the beer as much as we like it.
Here we are now making great beer, and it's super exciting. And I have to thank my two friends here that had a lot of faith in me and gave me the chance, and my wife that stood by me and said, you know what, that's what you want to do, let's go for it. And here we are today, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Great
A long
year.
time coming.
Here's to March 28th, 2014, the 1-year anniversary party. We'll see you all here. Cheers.